Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Stana as our British, and his opponent today is going to be Treadz as our Africa Corps. Map today is going to be Longra. 2 fuel on the right, 1 on the left. Cutoff points connecting you to much of the fuel. Lots of opportunity to steal cutoff points away from each other. And some hedgerows dividing down the middle of the map. This map's been around a very long time. I want to say it was in Company of Heroes 1, but I'm not 100% sure that's true. It's been many, many years since I played that game, but I know for a fact it was in Company of Heroes 2, and one of the fan favorites from that game as well. So, for those of you that don't know, Treadz does stream on Twitch, so if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can catch him live. He plays, see him streaming pretty regularly. And you should definitely check him out if you like the first-person view. So, while we have a quick second before the game gets underway here, just wanted to thank everybody for all the support. Been loving, you guys have been subscribing like crazy, and been loving all the comments. And I like that, you know, you guys point out stuff to me that I didn't know, and everybody's really respectful in the comments, and I don't know. I'm proud to have you guys as part of this little community that we're building here. For those of you that haven't seen it, there is a poll up on my channel for a little special celebration of 500 subscribers. Not really calling it a subscriber goal per se. Ooh. Motorbike going down there, getting a little aggressive, chasing those Royal Engineers out of there. In any case, I'm just gonna have some fun with it, and if you want to have a say in what happens for my 500 subscriber milestone, please check that poll out. Currently, the front runner is to have me cast one of my own low-level games. I have absolutely no idea why you guys want to see that, but I will be happy to show it to you if that choice wins. Both players opening very standard here. British player is going to come away with the fuel advantage, at least for the time being. Going from 2 Royal Engineers into 2 infantry sections, probably going to see a 3rd infantry section here very shortly. German player, on the other hand, went for an early 250 after bike, but did lose that bike, as we saw earlier, and is following up with some Panzer Grenadiers. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a dingo here. Dingoes, of course, eat 250s, but the problem with a dingo is they are not that easy to keep alive, and you know, it's an early game investment that doesn't carry through into the mid game very effectively. German player going quickly up to light support company here, so I do think we're going to see assault grenadiers from him. If he's thinking that his opponent's going to go for a dingo, we might actually see Panzerjägers first, but I think assault grenadiers would probably make more sense from him, given the information that he has. And we did see him go for assault grenadiers there for a second, but changed his mind and went for Panzer Grenadiers. So, interesting choice there, going up to the light infantry, the light support, what am I talking about? Light support company there. Yeah, and then not investing into it. I mean, that's some manpower he could have saved. I could have had these Panzer Grenadiers out earlier. Of course, I'm not trying to rag on him too much, but for you in your own games, you know, if you're going to tech up to something, you probably want to commit instead of just kind of changing your mind mid-flight there. Ultimately, probably won't impact the outcome of this game, but just something to keep in mind there. Recce package added on for these infantry section here. Going to give them some extra combat effectiveness, as well as access to the forward artillery observer barrage. I'm sure I just butchered the heck out of that name. We're going to see that called in right here. Actually, would have preferred to see that call in right here. You can actually call in right here, and it makes it risky for your opponent to walk out of his base. I suppose the same is true for this side here. I mean, there is a little exit there, but this barrage isn't exactly on target there. Panzer Grenadiers and infantry section continuing to brawl at long range, but this is a very blue map to start us off here. British player out to an early lead, even managing to build out some sandbags on this cutoff point here. Further going to deny this area to his opponent, even adding on barbed wire so that his opponent can't use it. And a Humber armored car on the way for our British player here. German player going to be behind on fuel to start this game, but hasn't bled much, if any, manpower other than investing in that light support company a little bit early. But he can add on some Panzer Jaegers right now. I think we're probably going to see him do a mechanized call-in to have that 250 come in as well. Does have enough manpower and should have it unlocked just now. Instead, choosing to go for more Panzer Grenadiers. Start us off here. Does look like our German is going to hold down this cutoff point for the foreseeable future. Fortunately for our German player, does have that narrow access to this fuel up top here. Was holding it down with the Panzer Grenadiers as long as he could. And we are seeing a mechanized Panzerjäger called in after DQing the Panzer Grenadiers. So good choice there. As soon as he saw that unit, he changed his mind. So very cool. Humber armored car helping out here, sitting at max range. Doesn't want to close the gap too much here. Doesn't know what's in the fog of war. But actually a little bit unsupported here. Panzerjäger thinking about diving there, I think. Looks like he kind of wants to do a flank, but British player sensing danger is going to bail out there. And I like this from our German player, hiding this Panzerjäger away. His opponent doesn't know that they exist yet. I mean, although he should have a pretty good feeling that that is the case. So both players have locked in their battle group choices here. British player, of course, went for the Canadian Shock battle group. Has gone for the attacking spirit for the healing after decapturing a point, as well as incendiary munitions. German player, on the other hand, has locked in the armored support. And we might see some coaxial shenanigans from him. It's typically why folks go for this early. But I'm actually going to switch over to the caster mode for just a second here. Take a quick look at this. Yeah, I mean, salvage kit's very popular. Panzer Storm, less so. Stuka dive bomb. This Stuka anti-tank loader is usually what folks go for. Command Panzer, pretty popular as well. You don't see the Flame Panzer very often, but wouldn't mind putting that Juju out in the air. Maybe we'll get to see it this game. German player finally pushing out of his base in a big way here. Does still control that top fuel point. Getting aggressive here. Now there are just about a million mines in this area. One here, one here. I kind of have a feeling there are more than that. But love that choice from our British player. Going to make it more difficult for his opponent to come swing through this area, leaving behind an artillery barrage to further slow down his opponent there. Actually getting a decent connection with the flak half-track there. But flak half-track not in a great spot anyway. Might want to move up just a little bit. Is going to do so now. Humber armored car on the wings here, supporting these Royal Engineers, who have thrown down yet more sandbags to control this point. But Panzerjäger looking... Oh, where are the Panzerjäger? They are capturing that center point there, so Humber armored car has nothing to fear just yet. This is an interesting mine placement. I don't know. Not sure what the plan is there. I mean, a vehicle could swing down through here, but I think a mine somewhere like right here might have been just a little bit better. Catch some potential additional flanks, or even further upright. Catch units coming through the gap there. British player actually denying this capture hit to his opponent, continuing to bleed out the victory points for him. Black half-track holding down this center point here. Panzerjäger have to back up here. Not retreating, interestingly enough. Is that an AT gun? It was indeed. 6-pounder has been called in here, set up on this black half-track, going to force him away. Humber armored car continuing to being annoying on this right side while all this is happening. And infantry section even going to steal away this cutoff point here from the looks of things. Flamethrowers in position though, and that's risky for these infantry section there. Might lose them on the retreat, but infantry Panzer Pioneers not focusing And neither are the Panzer Grenadiers there. Panzer Grenadiers going to back off. Heavy machine gun added on for our German player here to help control the flow of battle. But those flares revealing that entire area. So a British player knows not to push in. And German player has been denied fuel continuously this game, unfortunately for him. Is going to manage to secure just a little bit, but British player has very clearly had an advantage this entire game. Royal Engineers being suppressed by the heavy machine gun, going to deny that capture there. So not quite triple capped, but definitely not feeling too good is our German player just yet. Flak half-track going to push away this infantry section. We're seeing Bren guns now for our British player. Love the Bren gun. Rather expensive, but very effective at all ranges. And yeah, so I think our British player could pretty comfortably start thinking about going up to Crusaders. I do sort of feel like another 6-pounder might be in order, potentially another infantry section. Has he added on infantry training yet? He has not added on infantry training. Oh man, losing that Panzer Grenadier to the base artillery barrage is pretty devastating for our German player there. British player did trade on this left side, but neither lost the unit. German player does have this heavy machine gun in this house here, and does have this point currently locked down. Panzer Grenadiers being added back on. That is the most vertical smoke grenade I've ever seen in my life. Gonna land here. Panzerjägers getting aggressive. 6-pounder not in position here. Panzerjägers might be able to pick up this Humber armored car and is going to get him from the looks of things. Nice little pickup there. Is going to lose the 250, but that's a trade he's willing to take. Panzerjägers being destroyed, though. Oh, man, that is not a trade he wanted. For sure. Incendiary munitions going down on this heavy machine gun. Going to force him out of there. Second grenade on the way. Looks like he was trying to hit him in the retreat path there and is going to pick him up on the retreat there. So, pretty devastating for both players. Losing some important units. Black half-track in position here, but can't save the 50 cal. Excuse me, just the heavy machine gun there. What is this? What is this, US 50 cals? No, it is not. And it is going to be a Flame Panzer from our German player. Let's go. So I actually think Flame Panzer might be pretty decent here. There is a lot of infantry for our British player, and not a lot of anti-tank. Just has the one. Of course, does have the anti-tank grenades, so does have to be very careful. 6-pounder setting up on the flak half-track. Flame Panzer coming in here. And with a Flame Panzer, love to see him chase here. Does know where the AT gun is. Might try to close the gap with the AT gun. Could be a really nice pickup for him. Fortunately, not draining any additional manpower, but is on the chase for this AT gun here, and does look like he's going to get him. No infantry support in the area for our German to potentially steal this away after destroying it. And of course, this unit cannot actually destroy the AT gun, but with multiple infantry sections moving into the area, we're going to see some AT grenades go down here. British player might want to remount this gun. Is going to remount it, get a free shot here. And the tank is going to change its focus fire to the AT gun there. And still not going to be able to destroy it, but infantry support coming down might make this happen. There is another 6-pounder on the field moving out with all this infantry support. And nice little steal here from the German player using the tow ability from the half-track there. Going to tow away that AT gun. Beautifully executed there, using the surprise advantage of the Flame Panzer to take his opponent off guard there and manage to secure it there. 6-pounder added back on. Might be a dead AT gun. Dead half-track. Nope, barely going to bail out there. Flame Panzer also being forced back. I think he does need to just go ahead and call it a day here and back all the way up. Get repaired up near base because the British player's pushing out in a big way there. Heavy machine gun being annoying here. And things continuing to look very, very good for our British player here. Now he's riding high off that early game advantage. He has gone up to the company command post, so I do expect we're going to see some Crusaders here. And adding on one now. So, Crusader 2s do just fine against these Panzer, these Flame Panzers. These Flame Panzers had lower armor than their Panzer 3 and Panzer 4 counterparts. And I just want to quickly show that off here. 150 armor, so still pretty decent. But, and actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm not 100% sure that I'm right. To me, it feels like they they definitely have worse armor, just having used this vehicle a lot myself. Now that said, Crusader 2 is going to do just fine against this unit. Flame Panzers, AT gun not actually focusing the same Flame Panzer continuously here, is going to get that unit very low. And here comes the Crusader 2. So German player in a lot of trouble here, is going to back off. Maybe Crusader 2 hitting the low health unit, and there is nothing in the area that can deal with this Crusader 2, except this AT gun being mounted by our German player. Love to see that. And actually hitting it with a critical strike there, and that's a dead Crusader 2. I cannot believe our German player didn't lose his tanks there. What is going on? Looks like German player might be able to steal both AT guns. Is going to tow away here. British player moving in force, though, but losing both of his AT guns, pretty darn devastating. Interestingly enough, our German player hasn't actually mounted up either of the AT guns, just stolen them away. Where's the other one? Right there in base. That's hilarious. Hilarious, not wanting to waste manpower on that unit. I think that's a really good decision. And German player doesn't know it, but he could go into his opponent's base right now and pretty much win the game. Of course, that's extremely risky, not knowing what's in the fog of war. Crusader 2 being added on here. So what a series of events there. Panzerjäger added on, mechanized variant, love to see that. Both players, of course, I don't know, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, but both players taking huge losses here. I mean, German player lost both of his Panzer Pioneers there. He's had to replace his Panzerjäger. British player, of course, losing one of his Royal Engineers as well as both his AT guns is pretty freaking devastating. Crusader 2 also going down. German player getting aggressive here, recognizing his opponent's weakness. Might be able to take down this infantry building here, and is going to do so. But here comes the Crusader 2. Now our German player has crewed the two AT guns, but they are nowhere in position here. Long-range Crusader 2 not able to penetrate the front armor there. AT grenades coming out, going to temporarily stun the Flame Panzer, but German going to back off here. There is a flank of infantry coming in on the side here. Panzerjägers moving forward. Going to be found out by this infantry section, is going to bail out there. And Crusader 2 thinking about getting aggressive here. Flak Panzer pushed way forward here for our German player. Going to try and keep his opponent in his base as long as possible. So while this has happened, I mean, our German player just doesn't have enough infantry. I mean, he's been building his infantry back up over the course of the last couple minutes here while he was being super aggressive here, but did not actually walk away with very much map control. I mean, look how blue this map still is. Most importantly, the two fuel points still in our British player's control here. That said, German player did manage to stop the bleeding. He does have to focus the victory points here. He can't afford to bleed anything else. So, you know, doing the best he can, but British player not that unhappy about what's happened here. Is going to lose another Royal Engineer there. Being found out by those Flame Panzers there. Infantry section moving forward. 250's getting very aggressive here. And German player feeling like he has to blob up here just to stay in this game. I think he's absolutely correct about that. So, second Crusader 2 on the field here. British player just sniffing around the edges with his first Crusader here. Doesn't want to lose this unit. Just trying to see if he can pick off any free units here from his opponent. And actually a triple cap going to come in from our German here. Picking up all 3 victory points there. Flame Panzer's doing a number on those infantry sections. Strangely enough, our British player does not have any Royal Engineers, so any damage to this tank right now is permanent. And an artillery barrage being called down there by our British player, going to force his opponent to reposition out of the middle here. Flame Panzer's getting aggressive, finding both Crusader 2s. Good penetrations on the side armor there. Crusaders thinking about chasing, but not going to commit there. And Panzer Grenadiers getting aggressive there, looking for an AT grenade. That's not going to happen. And, yeah, triple cap coming in, not quite. Infantry section going to put a stop to that. British player has literally all 3 fuel points, but is being denied 2 of them with this cutoff point that the German player is currently holding down. So I actually really like this positioning from our German player, denying his opponent this right side fuel just by standing near this cutoff point here, but is going to be driven back, and a command panzer on the field for our German. So this game is going to come down to, I think, an aggressive charge by the Crusader 2s into a well-defended position by our German player potentially here. I don't know what our British player needs to get back into this game. I mean, Crusaders is certainly an option here, and if our German player gets too aggressive with these Flame Panzers, he's going to be really sad about that. Getting all the way up in the base here. AT gun on the side, as well as both Crusaders here. Command Panzer providing a little bit of extra armor to these units, but not actually getting any bounces. Panzer still in a bad spot there, is going to bail out. Crusader on the side here going to pick up this 250. Mine's going to stop this unit from getting anything done here. And Crusader all the way on the flank here. German's going to have to back all the way up. AT gun's way out of position there. Looks like the 250 might come in to help tow these units away. Command Panzer are going to engage with this Crusader here, and here comes the flank from the Crusaders. Actually diving in the base here, hunting down the Flame Panzers that are nowhere to be seen. AT guns actually had an angle on this Crusader for a minute, getting good penetrations. Command Panzer are going to take down the first Crusader. Is going to trade away a Flame Panzer here from the looks of things. Command Panzer being stunned by an AT grenade there, and that's a permanent. That's engine damage there. First Flame Panzer going down there. Panzer Grenadiers getting some AT grenades out there. 6-pounders being recrewed by the British player there, getting some great connections. This Flak Panzer's done for from the looks of things. Nice hit there. That was a Flak half-track, not a Flak Panzer, but that's okay. And Flame Panzer getting aggressive here. Looks like he's trying to pick up the 6-pounder, but the 6-pounder's going to pick up him instead. And wow. Wow, what a fight. Both players wounded here. Panzerjäger's here to help out there, and that is a dead Crusader. So both players taking extremely heavy losses there. I think that overall that was better for our British player, because he did manage to, well, I don't know. I mean, one of the AT guns did go to our German. Looks like one of them is going to go to our British player. A British player, of course, losing both of his Crusaders, but does have the fuel income to add them back on. So we're seeing another Crusader 2 being added on here. German, on the other hand, losing both Flame Panzers. And the Crusader, or the command tank barely surviving here. Now this command panzer can do some serious work for our German here. I mean, again, it's adding some pretty substantial bonuses to all the units nearby. Assault Grenadiers, I think that was a mechanized Assault Grenadiers called in. They're going to wipe this MG-34. I'd love to see him steal that back. Command Panzer actually getting a good penetration on the Crusader 2, but the 6-pounder's in position to help out. Do have range on this tank, but are going to reposition. And it looks like the British player was thinking about destroying the heavy machine gun there, but going to decide better of it. I hear an artillery barrage coming down somewhere. Not sure where that's hitting. Looks like it's going to be right there. And German player is currently bleeding. Is not actually standing on this command point despite how close he is. I mean, are you in the circle or not? He's not in the circle. Needs to stay. Needs to get in there right now to capture that point back. And he's going to see it now. So this game is still on a knife's edge. I think our German has... I mean, he has what he needs to deal with his opponent. But with so few command points, victory points, it's going to be a rough uphill battle for both players, really. Grenade hitting the infantry section, and is going to get wiped on the retreat. Command Panzer might go down and return. The flare lighting up the whole area. Just went out, though. And 6-pounder not going to be able to connect attack ground. Oh, barely missing there. Command Panzer going to just scrape out of there. Grenades coming out from the British player here. And you know what I think our British player needs? He needs a crocodile. But it looks like he didn't tech into it, unfortunately for him. So this game will continue. Assault Grenadiers on the scene, going to stop this infantry section from stealing the command point there. Crusader 2 helping out. AT guns in a safe position there. Command Panzer being repaired back up. And this game continues. How ridiculous has this been? 6-pounder, stolen 6-pounder, getting a great connection on the Crusader there. And again, our British player has not added on a Royal Engineer yet, so cannot repair this unit. Going to call it off the map instead, using his company command post to get a refund on that unit. So going to be just able to rebad that back on. And despite having about 1.5 million fuel, our British player doesn't have enough manpower. I think we're going to see... I was going to say, I would love to see a Matilda here, because our German player doesn't actually have a lot of tanks right now, other than this command tank, but that's what the 6-pounders are for. And a Matilda could do some serious work against the infantry from our German player right now. Again, German player extremely starved for fuel. He has been all in on the victory points for the last 5 minutes here, so no surprise there. Second Crusader being added on by our British player. So when those two units hit the field, could get pretty scary for our German player once again. But nice flank on this heavy machine gun. Grenade coming out, but not going to connect there. And it's still a tie game from a victory point perspective, but the German is going to quickly pick up a bit more territory here. So, German player very strapped for fuel. I think it kind of feels like he needs another Panzer Jaeger, but I'm not sure what he's going to choose to add on next. AT gun in position here, ready for this Crusader. Crusader not going to take the bait, though. Here comes the infantry section to try to grab away the center point. Command Panzer is ready for that. Panzerjäger very low, going to head back to base. Assault Grenadiers going to close the gap here. 6-pounders in position here, getting some good hits on the Panzer there from long range. Grenades actually connecting with the infantry section there, but 6-pounder continuing to do work here. And German player going to have to back off. So, I'm over here thinking maybe some indirect fire would be okay from our German, but I have no idea how he'd get to it. It's a little bit too expensive to invest in something like a support gun. Using the AT gun to pick up territory here. German player having to come out of his base on very low health here, just to not let his opponent get a lead here. 6-pounder just got wiped by the German, or for the German there, but is going to be recrewed by the Jaegers. Grenade coming out, going to connect with that infantry section, going to be driven back there. AT gun recrewed and set up, getting some good connections against the Crusader there. But won't be able to chase. Another good connection there. Crusader's going to have to go back. There is a Royal Engineer added back on here, so German player does have a little bit of a, British player does have what he needs to repair those units back up. And does look like our British player is about to triple cap the German here, which I don't know if there's anything our German can do about it. He is pushing out at all angles here. Going to recrew that AT gun once again, but not going to be able to put a stop to this. And a heavy machine gun in the middle here, going to lock this whole area down. German player is going to pick up one command point to slow the bleeding here. Not actually, is capturing, very good, but looking pretty rough here. This is a nice little flank on this heavy machine gun. Hopefully he doesn't step in the arc. Did barely get out of the arc there. He is going to drive back the heavy machine gun, so these Grenadiers can close the gap here. AT gun going to prevent the Panzer from helping out. Here comes more German units to get involved there. Crusaders nowhere in sight. 6-pounder going to be pushed back by the Assault Grenadiers here. And here comes the Crusader to try and help out at long range there. 6-pounder still out of range. AT grenade actually getting a good connection against the Assault Grenadiers. Assault Grenadiers barely going to live. 6-pounder on the flank of this command Panzer. Crusader also pushing forward here. And that looks like a losing fight for our German, and he agrees. So, wow, what a crazy little game. I mean, that devastating losses, both players basically being reset, led to an interesting endgame. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.